Our next guest is a dame who slays the game on your telly, in the kitchen and on your bookshelf. She's bringing us her latest book, Being Old and Loving It. There she is. So the sun always shines on Prue Leith, everyone. So nice to see you. How you doing? It's more like a bookshop, isn't it? Yeah. It's like a signing. Anybody want a signed book of Prue's new book? Being Old and Learning to Love It. Prue, this book is great. It's great. Honestly, it's funny, it's clever, it's really sincere, it's really sensitive. I loved it. I'm turning 60 soon, right? And I know that for people, it annoys me when people might say, oh, I'm old. No, we're not old. We're getting older. But you're allowed to write this book because you are old, aren't you?
I'm 86.
86?
That's definitely old.
How do you feel?
Fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. And that's my whole point. I think that we always imagine that old is a negative thing.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of positive about it.
Yeah, and you're old and you're wise. You've had a great life. You're so refreshingly honest about it all.
And you know what? You don't give a toss.
Yeah. I suspect from reading your book, you never have.
No, I used to be more sensitive. Now I just think, bah, you know.
Yeah.
There is a real freedom about just not caring.
Not caring. Well, you care about the right things. You don't worry about the wrong things. That's the point, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
In the book, there's health and there's well-being. There's a great chapter on money, which is fascinating. Let's start at the beginning. To ski or not to ski? It's a no to skiing, but it's a yes to fly fishing, isn't it?
And it's a yes to sit skiing. Have you ever done sit skiing?
Haven't done sit skiing.
That's when you are in a sort of kind of cross between a pram and a wheelchair.
Right.
And there's a guy behind you who's actually holding the handles.
Right.
And he is a champion skier, and you go down the slope.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
And it's fantastic because you get all the excitement and none of the responsibility.
None of the things you can't say live on the radio.
No,
She's in the mood today, gang. We're going to have some fun, aren't we, John? We're going to have some fun today, aren't we, John? John, Prue's lovely husband is in the house as well. Yeah. I've done skinking. Have you done skinking?
No, what's that?
So skinking is going to the ski resort with all your friends and your family, but sitting in the bar drinking while they're skiing. That's skinking.
Oh, we did a lot of that.
Yeah, we do a lot of that. But you love your fly fishing.
I do. But, even that is more difficult now because I'm a bit wobbly in the water. And if you're standing in the spey on slippery rocks, you have a spey stick. But it's much more difficult now. You must ski. But you just adapt. I now fish from a boat. Yeah, fish from. Of course you do. You're Prue Leith. You can do what the heck you like. You're Dame Prue Leith, for heaven's sake. You've had a great life. You talk about well-being. You talk about your health. You've been generally healthy. However, ironically, you've spent quite a lot of time in hospital, even though you've been generally healthy. Well, yeah, no, but I've had a lot of accidents and stuff. Yeah. But I recovered from them. You did a month in hospital once, did you? Yeah, I did. Oh, that was because there was some bug in my back, and it took them a long time to discover why I couldn't move. Yeah, and you were quite happy, and you were. I got institutionalised. Yes. I loved it. I didn't want to leave. They were so nice to me. So great. You all the way through the book, what comes sort of screaming out off every page is how grateful you are, and you are aware that you've had a lot of good luck. Oh, I have had a huge amount of luck, and of course I'm happy because I've had. My children are healthy, my grandchildren are healthy, they're all doing well. I'm happily married. How many people have two happy marriages? Yeah. Most people don't get one. No, congratulations. Well done. And you talk about your first husband, who sadly, he died of emphysema, didn't he? Because he smoked too much. And then you talk about opening your first restaurant in 1969. I mean, and just tell the gang here, the likes of who used to come regularly to your restaurant? Oh, it was the 60s and 70s. I opened it in 1969. So in the 70s, we just had absolutely everybody. I mean, the Beatles, the Stones, Alec Guinness, the John Gielgud, all the theatre people. Princess Margaret. Was she the hoot we are led to believe she was? She was... difficult. Yeah, all right. But she came a couple of times, and Lady Di came, and everybody came.
And do you remember the night the first sort of faces came in? I mean, there was the opening, so that doesn't count. But the first time they came in as a regular booking, who might that have been, do you think?
I think the one I remember most vividly is the Beatles, because I was such a Beatles fan, so I wanted to be the person who served them. So did everybody else in there. So I didn't get much of a chance because there were lots of competition. But I did ask them what they wanted, and they said, "Oh, we want a fry-up." And I said, "Look, this is a really expensive restaurant, and the deal is you pay the same money whether you're having one course or three courses, or four courses. You could have but it's always the same price." And I said, "So your fry-up's going to be very expensive." And they said, "You know what? We can afford it."
Yeah! Who's paying? Who cares? We're the Beatles. You talk about nips and tucks, yours and your mum's.
Oh yeah.
Tell us share a bit about that.
Well, not all plastic surgery is bad, you know. My mum decided to have a boob job when she was 70, and I remember saying to her, "But you this is just a cry for attention. You just want me to have to stay with you for 3 weeks so I look after you. But nobody's going to actually care what your boobs look like. You know, you're 70 years old." And she said, "Look, I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me." And she said, "I've hated these things all my life. They're too big." And she said, "I only kept them because your father was quite fond of them."
Quite.
So she said, and so I'm having them small, and she did, and to be honest, the surgeon didn't do a very good job. They were a bit lopsided, but never mind, they were smaller, and it made such a difference to her life. She was an actress, and she then immediately lost a lot of weight. She started to get jobs again, and so it changed her life just because she fixed her boobs.
Yeah, and that's like word for word in the book. It's such a great story, and all the stories, it flies along, and there's loads of wisdom in there, and there's loads of takeaways we can have in there. Because you went for plastic surgery, or not, a smaller procedure.
Yeah, I had my bags under my eyes
when you were 50.
Yes,
and the person who was in charge of that procedure said that lasts about 15 years, and they were bang on, weren't they?
Yes, they were. So I've now got the bags back, but now I don't care.
But you really haven't, though. I mean, you may think you have. I mean, look.
Anyway,
you look amazing.
I don't care.
No, you're not anti-exercise, or are you anti-exercise? Well, I know you do exercise.
Well, I do ridiculous exercise. I had a physio once told me I absolutely had to do 40 minutes of these. Just do these 30 exercises. She said, they're just stretches and leg lifts and stuff. Do them every day, and it should take 45 minutes or something. Well, I do them in 10 minutes because I hate them so much. Yeah. I just gallop through them.
Well, you do them.
I do. But I do it in 10 minutes.
In bed, some of them?
Yeah, I do most of them in bed.
Most of them in bed?
Well, I wake up in the morning, and then the first thing I do is, roll one side to the other. I can't demonstrate.
I know, it's so good
and then leg lifts. I wake myself up by doing them. Anyway, it's probably useless, but it's got to be better than nothing.
No, you don't say that, but you say you are accepting of the fact that it is important. You have to do these things because you don't. We know that if you're over a certain age and you have a serious fall, it can reduce your lifespan by a considerable amount. So it's important.
Yes, it is. But mainly my attitude to exercise is don't
do it.
No,
it's not don't do it.
No, well, I think it's boring. Is the point.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying it, it's fine.
But you do look like you're very fit.
Well, I'm quite active.
Yeah.
I get around a bit.
Well, that's the thing, is that these exercises, they're mandatory almost for people who don't have natural movement in their lives. But of course, you're a big gardener. You and John are big gardeners.
Yes, and I like. Yes, and I cook. I can cook for hours. I used to be able to stand in the kitchen for 14 hours a day. I can't do that now. But I can stand there for. I can walk around the kitchen for 2 hours or 3 hours, and then I need to sit down.
and you're allowed one. But they say that gardening is so good for you because of the positions you have to get in. Your natural squats, and you put your hands above your head, and people don't do that enough in life.
Yes, all of that, and yes, and it helps if you have dogs and nice big.
And also, you're sort of anti-retirement because why would you retire from something that you love? You talk about the Bake Off, everyone. And then there's the American version, which is called the US Baking Show.
The Great American Baking Show.
The Great American Baking Show, which is filmed mostly here.
Well, we film it here.
Yeah.
But it's obviously it only shows in America.
And then you go over to do a bit of PR, and you love all that, don't you?
Yes, I do. I love that. I'd get an excuse to get to New York. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like that a lot.
And also, you again, you talk so refreshingly about fame and about celebrity and about the fact that you weren't really a celebrity, even though you were in the mix. You weren't really recognised for years and years.
No, well, that's because that's the power of Bake Off, isn't it? It's just so many people watch Bake Off. So and of course I love it. I'm such an egotist, and I'm such an exhibitionist, and I'm such a show-off that I just love it. I mean, it's very interesting because Paul Hollywood is quite shy, and he'd rather not go to places where he'll be asked for selfies or mobbed in the street or anything else. I positively love it. I like the attention.
If you're having a quiet day, do you sometimes just go out anyway for a bit of recognition?
Yeah. Yes, I need a smile. I'll go and... Yeah. No, I do. Yes. I mean, it's the show-off in me.
Yeah, well, it's great. And but the sort of change in in style, that's come from John, hasn't it? Since you met John.
Well, John spent all his life as a clothes manufacturer. He made women's posh clothes, and then later he made uniforms. But he was all his life in fashion and designing and manufacturing. So when he met me, he knew I like colour, but he's always pushed me to like it more,
Yeah.
And so he buys all my clothes, which is lovely because I hate shopping. And so he buys everything I wear, except a few. I get some hand-offs from Bake Off, which are bought by a wonderful girl called Jane Galpin.
Well, you used to. You don't anymore.
No, I know. No more free clothes from Bake Off.
In the book it says, and we're talking about Prue's new book, it's so good, this book, honestly, it's so good. It's a sort of part memoir, part sort of manual for life. There's a lot of wise words in there.
It's basically a rant about everything.
It's not a rant. I have read books that are ranty and they're boring. This isn't a rant.
All right, it's little essays on things to do with it.
Well, hang on. In the book, you talk about old people who rant, and you say, "Don't be a rant. Don't be an old ranter," don't you?
Yeah. Well,
this is the anti-old person. This is the anti-grumpy old woman book.
Yes, no, it's not a grumpy old woman. I think I agree, but it is. It's just what I just wanted to write a book about being old that wasn't all either a manual of how to do it or complaints, rants. So,
it's not preachy. It wears its wisdom very lightly on its sleeve. In it, you do drop the pearl that is you didn't see the Great British Bake Off tent. You hadn't seen it at all until you first stepped into it, working on it.
I know. I never watched it. I didn't even know about it really, but then, and to be honest, I never watched it when I was on it because I'm so vain. I can't bear seeing myself on telly. I just keep thinking, why did the cameraman go around the back and take all the fat bits? Why? I've got a good side. Why can't you stick there? Yeah,
it's funny. The most vain people on telly don't watch themselves. It's the opposite of what people think.
Yes.
So Nigella's taken over.
I know. That's great, isn't it?
How well do you know Nigella?
I don't know her well at all, but I'm a huge fan. I think she's terrific. And, people keep saying to me, have you got any advice for her? Of course I haven't got any advice. She doesn't need any advice. She's a fantastic personality. She's really nice. She's highly intelligent. She's a lot brighter than me. I tell you what, she's got terrific brains.
That's one of the smartest things you can say.
Years ago, I used to be chair of the Royal Society of Arts, the RSA, and I instituted an annual food lecture because we never had lectures about food, and RSA has very good lectures. And so she gave the very first food lecture at the RSA, and she talked about the Sephardic Jews and how important food is to culture and identity, and people who go from one country to another, immigrants of any kind, always take their food culture with them, and so you get Cambodian food in a little bunch of people in California. And,
and it's kind of a community, and it's an advert for who they are and where they come from.
Exactly.
It's a sense of who they are and how they roll.
Nigella is really bright woman. She's terrific.
If you could give her one tip?
Just enjoy it. I mean, you can't not enjoy it. It's a lovely programme. The people are great. Just go for it.
What's the best thing you've ever tasted on Bake Off?
I think I think the best thing I've ever taken, funnily enough, was a very spicy pizza.
Nice.
Which is odd because they've been fantastic cakes, of course.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Spicy pizza. I never guessed that as an answer.
Yeah.
You do have a chapter on dying, and it's fascinating. It's a fascinating chapter. You didn't used to think about dying at all, and now you think about it several times an hour. A day or whatever.
No, not an hour. No, it's true. I remember years ago a friend of mine saying she was about 60. We were both 60. And she said, do you think about dying all the time? And I said, no, I never think about dying. She said, I think about it every day. And now I've got to some age or other. I mean, now I definitely think about dying. But I don't think about it with fear and stuff. I mean, I spend a lot of time campaigning for assisted dying because I think you ought to be allowed to top yourself when you've had enough of this good life. If you're really having a horrible time and you've got an incurable, painful disese and you're going to die of it, and you're unhappy.
Yeah, and you're at home, maybe.
Yeah, why can't you die in your own house with your family around you at the time?
Here, Prue. That's just common sense, isn't it?
It's just so obviously. But anyhow, there's a lot of opposition, and at the moment it's stuck in the House of Lords because a bunch of Lords are against the idea. And they're just trying to talk it out,
filibustering.
They're filibustering, and they've produced seven of them have produced over 1,000 amendments to be debated. Well, we'll never get through. They'll never get through them.
That is that aspect of the Lords. Oh, well.
It's just disgraceful, and many of the Lords who are actually opposed to dignity, opposed to assisted dying, are so indignant because they say this is disenfranchising the Lords. It's bringing the Lords into disrepute. It's not doing what the Lords is supposed to do, which is scrutinise bills and improve them, not scupper them and bury them.
Yeah.
By just talking too much.
Yeah. Well, you're never in danger of talking too much because we love you. You can talk forever. The book is great, Prue. It's so great.
I'm so impressed that you absolutely read it all.
I can read. I know you've had your doubts in the past, Prue, but I promise you I can.
No, but you have guests on here all the time with books, and you're so good because you do actually read them.
Yours is actually
most
the first one I've ever read, but don't tell me.
Most interviews just read the stuff on the back.
No, you've got to, because we'll have more fun that way, won't we? And I want to come to work and have fun, otherwise what's the point?
Anyway.
Christoph, Matt in Berkhamsted, my grandfather, Eric Fernando. Oh, hello. He doesn't have a grandfather called Eric Fernando. Always said he was one of Prue's chefing teachers, which my gran insists on reminding us whenever Prue's on the telly. We miss my granddad terribly, but today is Granny Norma's 101st birthday! You got at least 15 years to go, Prue.
I know. Well, that's good.
Because you think about the summers, don't you? You think about how many summers you've got left. That's a thing for you, isn't it?
Well, that's one of the reasons I stopped doing Bake Off, because Bake Off happens all the way through the summer, and I was never going to get a European summer holiday again.
So yeah,
I've got to have more holidays.
It's so important because in the book you haven't retired from Bake Off.
No.
So it's like you're still doing Bake Off.
Well, I've been dithering about leaving Bake Off for 2 years, but I just suddenly decided. More holidays.
It sounds like she has the same attitude to being old. She's great fun, likes to tipple, and a dirty joke now and then. It would mean. What's your favourite dirty joke? No, sorry. It would mean the world if Dame Prue might wish her a happy birthday. Could you please wish Granny Norma a happy 101st? Granny
Norma, my goodness! I hope you have a happy 101st. Yeah, I want to get there.
Val says, Val's one of our favourites. Val is 70 years young. She's one of our greatest listeners. She's really rock and roll. Prue has hit the nail on the head. It's about remaining active and mischievous, of course. Mischievousness is like the secret ingredient, the secret sauce. Would you agree with that?
It's fun, isn't it? It's just seeing the fun in life.
Yeah. Well, you're the best. Can we have a Dame Prue Leith, please, if you don't mind? This book is out now.